long tongues, and drunk raccoons. What a weird week.
Hi, everybody, it's weird.
This is like crazy being here.
Weird.
Really weird tales.
Bigfoot eats out of my trash.
Well, I got a great show for you today with some wonderful weird stuff.
Hi, friends. I'm Scott, and this show is called What a Weird Week. We go back through the news of the week, and we pick out the fun stories and the odd ones and the weird ones, and we do a 10-story countdown for you. We do it every Friday, wrap it up in about 15 minutes, and you can get our show notes if you go to shownotes.page. This is our episode for Friday, December 5, 2025.
Number 10.
Number 10 is orange juice, and some new research into orange juice seems to indicate that depending on your body weight, it impacts you differently. It would seem that if you're overweight and you drink orange juice, the orange juice switches on or interacts genetically. You end up processing fat a different way if you're an overweight person. If you're considered a normal weight person and you drink orange juice, it seems to reduce inflammation. It's the same orange juice, two different people, and the orange juice is helping one person one way, and the orange juice is helping another person another way. And it might just be a simple thing, but I love it when they go back and they do more research on things that we've had forever, like orange juice. Science will go and invent a new drug. Science will, do something with robots, AI, and lasers. And then circle back to orange juice and say, let's take another look at this. And then they find new benefits. How great is that? Most of us can access orange juice probably today. You could lay your hands on some orange juice if science said, hey, guess what? It's going to help your inflammation or whatever. Of course, more research needed, but I am encouraged by orange juice. Way to go, science.
Number 9.
Number 9 is the human washing machine featured at Japan's Expo 2025. So think of, a dishwasher, except those things are for dishes. This is for human beings. And it looks like a pod with a chair in it. I'm very excited for a future where we can all have a human washing pod that we just go sit down and the machine does all the work. We don't have to locate soap, shampoo, whatever. Those things are for chumps. Now we're in a future where you just sit there and you get pod washed. Now, my comments might seem to indicate that I'm extremely lazy. And let me just say, hear me out. I am extremely lazy, and I would love to have a human washing pod pronto.
Number 8.
Number 8 is from Kraft Heinz Company, not a sponsored segment, but Heinz Leftover Gravy condiment, available limited time thing that you can get in a squeezable bottle, and it's leftover gravy. So simple and so perfect. Why now? Why? Like we had mayo chup and we had all these other weird sauces before we had leftover gravy, squeezable leftover gravy. I think that's I didn't know I needed it till I read about leftover gravy in a bottle. But now I'm like, where has this been all my life? And we have failed humanity. We should have already had this. I think I'll mention one more here. We kind of have a tie for number 8. A number of companies came out with stuff inspired by American Thanksgiving, like leftover gravy in a bottle. Well, Nissin Foods has cup noodles, so they came out with turkey dinner cup noodles and also pumpkin pie flavor. Nope.
Number 7.
Number 7 is for those of us who do not like to have meetings. Let me just say, I've got about 13 bosses where I work, and they all have the power to fire me. So every meeting, I'm on pins and needles, and I got to meet with all of them at some point. They don't know what I do, pretty much, and I have no clue what they do, except they can fire people. So that's my situation. I do not like having meetings, and the headline is Why Meetings Can Harm Employee Well-Being. The article says, on average, managers spend 23 hours a week in meetings. 23 hours. No wonder my managers are so cranky all the time. And then they get into the meeting paradox, which I didn't know they had a name for it, but it's when you have a bad meeting, the meeting doesn't go good. And so you end up having to have more meetings because of a bad meeting, more meetings. That's never fun either. If I'm wrong, let me know.
Number 6.
Number 6 is the New Zealand man charged with theft after allegedly swallowing a Fabergé pendant. A lot of the articles show a Fabergé egg, and that's a mouthful. That's going to be a tough one to swallow. This is a pendant. an egg pendant. So more manageable. And allegedly this fellow swallowed it. It's worth over $30,000. This happened inside a jewelry store. And you would assume he's charged with theft. You would assume it wasn't just a compulsion or I'm very hungry. Have you got anything to eat? It would seem as though it was allegedly an attempted theft. So this story is in the headlines because people are, waiting. At time of recording, this is where we're at. Authorities have not yet recovered the egg pendant. And I'd like to stop there on this one. I don't really want to track that. And God bless the investigators who are in charge of that part of the investigation.
Number 5.
Number 5, we circle back to David Record Breaker Rush. He is a fellow who got in the Guinness Book of Records after setting the most concurrent world records. So he has the most world records and he continues to break world records. This one's a fun one though. Sometimes it's just like he spent a lot of time with a balloon. But this one's fun. He wore the most t-shirts ever while running a half marathon. He put on 137 t-shirts, 48 pounds of t-shirts, and then ran a half marathon. That's a world record. If you want to see what that looked like, we'll link to it in the show notes or click shownotes.page.
Number 4.
Number 4 is the Drunk Raccoon. This was all over the place. The late night hosts, all of the major outlets, I think, picked this up. Drunk Raccoon arrested after liquor store rampage. This happened in Virginia. A raccoon broke into an ABC liquor store, ransacked the place, drank a lot of liquor, and then they found the intoxicated raccoon passed out in the bathroom. At least the raccoon made it to the bathroom. I'd like to know a bit more. If you understand raccoon behavior, what, how, why? What, how, why is what the answers I'm looking for. I didn't know raccoons drank hooch. I mean, I guess they eat garbage. They don't care. I didn't know they were like booze hounds. Please let me know. Is that normal? Or is this raccoon an outlier? Some sort of boozy outlier.
Number 3.
Number 3 is the Popular Science headline, Why We Have Two Nostrils Instead of One Big Hole. So we had to put it in here somewhere. Popular Science is doing the work for us. Shout out to Sarah Phillip, the author of this one, published the other day. And Sarah, I loved everything about this article. Sarah talks about, we have 2 eyes. That is to help us better see. 2 ears help us to better hear. But 2 nostrils, why? And I had never considered that question until I read Sarah's article. And don't worry, if you're a mouth breather, Sarah talks about you as well. And me as well. I'm also a mouth breather. From the article from an expert, what is unusual is that the nostrils alternate airflow from one side to the other. This may allow one side of the nose to rest. So there's still an air of mystery involved with why we have 2 nostrils, but they're looking into it. Experts are on it.
Number 2.
Number 2 is the dog with the longest tongue in the world. Ozzy is from Oklahoma. Ozzy is a French Mastiff. It shatters the old world record. The old world record was a tongue about 5 inches, 5.5 inches. Well, Ozzy's tongue is almost 8 inches, 7.8 inches long. That's Ozzy's tongue. So longer than most smartphones, longer than a standard pencil, a butter knife. Perhaps you'll go somewhere fancy this holiday season and they'll have butter knives. And that could be a conversation starter. Maybe you're at one of these fancy dinners over the holidays and they're putting out all the different cutlery and you're like, this butter knife. Interesting fact, not as long as Ozzy's tongue. Ozzy, oh, you don't know? Ozzy the French Mastiff from Oklahoma, world record holder. That could be the opening to a wonderful conversation with somebody at one of these fancy schmancy parties.
Number 1.
Okay, here is the number 1 story of the week. Daddy's Home, a cologne by Mug. Yes, Mug, the root beer company. If you're unfamiliar, maybe they don't have it where you are, but it's root beer. It's a soft drink. Mug root beer. Only now they've branched out into cologne, and you can purchase for a limited time the Daddy's Home cologne, which they describe as unisex. And when I read that, I was like, well, that doesn't check out. It's called Daddy's Home. Isn't it for daddies? But the mascot for Mug Root Beer is a dog. And so this cologne is supposed to be pleasing to pooches. You wear this cologne and then come home and your pooch is going to enjoy your scent. Maybe from down the block. Every time we do a story like this, I like to acknowledge the hardworking promotional team behind the brand, because you cut through the noise, you made some headlines, you got mug root beer in the news, and it ain't easy out there for a soft drink, so well done. The Daddy's Home Cologne is available for a limited time via the mug root beer TikTok. You also get some delicious pop or soda. I'll put a link to it if you click the show notes. All right, that's it for this week. Thanks for checking out the program. If you enjoy weird news, odd news, fun stories, not serious news stories, then we drop a new episode every Friday, and you can click shownotes.page to read the show notes or find out more about our program, shownotes.page. We're back next Friday with more weird stuff from the news on What a Weird Week.